Hello, my name is Karel Poepaert. I'm Business Development Manager for Dell Enterprise at Tech Data. You would like us to place your orders for Dell equipment towards Dell as quickly as possible, I assume. And you are right, but we need your help. And this is what I would like to explain in this short video. In fact, if we place an order for a build-to-order configuration towards Dell, and we do not include or provide the detailed information Dell is requiring us to include in each order, then Dell will not accept the order. In fact, this of course will create delays, and we will need to come back to you to get the missing information. Also, even if you already placed orders in the past for specific end users, we still would like you to confirm us the correct information for each new order at Tech Data. For us, it is not possible to know 100% for sure what correct end user details we need to select when there are different options available in the Dell systems. So let me explain what we need and why it is important to give us the correct information. First of all, we need to provide detailed information on where the system must be delivered. This detailed information is important because this will be used by the transporter to contact the correct person to make arrangements for the delivery of the system. So this information will be used by the transporter to check if the end user is ready to accept a large shipment and verify the correct delivery details. Dell also wants to have a clear view on the entity making use of the equipment. So this will be the end user. This information will be used by Dell to provide, for instance, product lifecycle information during the evolution of the system. The correct end user details are also relevant in regards to the registration of support contracts on the system. And then finally, Dell also needs detailed information on the right contact and location where the system will actually be installed. This can be the same as the ship-to information, but in some cases, this may be another address if the end user has different locations. And in most cases, the contact person will be different. Where the contact for the ship-to information are logical contacts, the contacts for the install at information are more likely to be part of the IT department. This correct install at information is also very important, as this data or this information will be used when Dell engineers need to come on site for interventions on the system, or replacement parts must be sent to replace defective components. So as you can see, all of the above information is extremely important and relevant for the whole life cycle of the system, from delivery over support up to system end of life. And please, once again, do not assume that we have the correct information. Companies may change addresses, or contacts may change positions and may no longer be responsible for specific IT aspects. And we cannot be aware of this. Also, companies may have multiple addresses, so we need to make sure that the correct address and the correct contact details are linked to each individual system. In order to help you, we developed a document where you can fill in the required information. You can ask a copy of this document at DellEMC@techdata.be. If you use this document, you can send it to us together with the order. Alternatively, if your order system allows you to include all those details on the order, that's okay for us, as long as we have all contact and physical location information for the ship-to, end user, and install at location. Let's have a look at the template. The first item is the ship to information. Those are the details of where the solution must be shipped to, including a correct contact name and contact details, as the transporter will most likely contact that person to make arrangements for the actual delivery. There is a particularity in case the system will be hosted at a third-party hosting company. Unfortunately, the Dell system do not have the specific field to include this information. So we need to work with a little trick in order to correctly populate the ship to field. In such cases, we ask you to use a specific format to define the ship to company name. And the format you will use is hosting company name. This is the company where the products must be shipped to, for end user name. And the end user name will then be the company name of the user for which the hosting company will receive the shipment. Let's explain this with an example. Let's assume that the configuration you order is for our King Philip, but that King Philip decided to install one system in a data center of interaction. For this case, you should specify the ship to customer name as interaction for King Philip. The ship to address will be the address of the interaction data center, as this is the address where the system must be shipped to. And as a ship to contact, you may need to check with the end user. In case this may be a contact at the hosting company who will accept the goods on behalf of King Philip, or in another case, where King Philip will come to the hosting company location itself to accept the shipment. The next item is the end user information. Again, we will need detailed company and contact details. Note that in case the system is procured by the end user in the form of a lease agreement involving a third-party financial institution, this can be Tech Data Financial Services or Dell Financial Services or another financial organization. Although the financial institution may be the entity who places the order for the system and is as such the owner of the system, in the end user details segment, we need to include the details of the company who is making use of the system. In the example we've used, you will fill in the company name and address of King Philip. As a contact, we will include the contact details of King Philip, as we assume, as he is the system owner, he will make use of the system and will need to be informed on the life cycle of the solution. Finally, we have the install at section. To populate those fields, we should use the company name, address, and contacts of the entity where the system will be physically installed. So the address of where the system will be installed. Be aware that the contact will be contacted for technical support when Dell notifies technical issues on the system when, for instance, the call home functionality is activated and this mechanism remotely monitors a hardware failure on the system. Note also that this will be the contact used by Dell to send software license keys if such items make part of the solution ordered. So you want to make sure that this contact person has the correct understanding on those things and understands how to apply those license keys on the installation. Again, we would like you to use a specific format when the system will be installed at a third-party hosting company. For the install at company name, the format to be used is end user company name at hosting company name. So in our example, the install at company name will be King Philip at interaction. This will make sure that when a Dell engineer needs to come on site for an intervention, that he needs to go to the address, that he understands that he has to go to the address of the hosting company, but once there, he will need to ask for the system of King Philip. Or when replacement components are shipped to the hosting company, that they know for which system the replacement units are meant to be installed. So in this case, the system of King Philip. As such, the install at address will be the address of the hosting company. And for the contacts, this again will depend on the role staff at the hosting company will play. It may be that King Philip asked the hosting company to take care of the system in total. In such case, you may want to include a product-related contact or product technical related contact at the hosting company for the system. In case King Philip will manage the system himself, you may need to include details of King Philip or one of his IT engineers. Voilà. This is the information we need and why, but be aware that we need this information for each system. So in case you place an order for 2 or more systems, we need this information for each of those systems as they need to be shipped to different locations or may be finally installed in different data centers. In our example, let's assume that King Philip is ordering 2 systems, where one system will be installed at the Royal Palace in Brussels and the second system will be installed in the Palace in Laken. In this case, we will need 2 documents filled in with the correct ship to and install at information. The end user information will in this case most likely be the same. How can you provide us this information? As indicated before, if you are able to include all the required details in the order form you send to us, please do so. But make sure we have all the details as outlined before. If your ordering system does not enable you to include all those details, please send it to us on a separate document, preferably together with the order, so we cannot confuse orders and information. Note that in this case, we cannot process your order until we received the detailed information. Finally, there is also a possibility to include detailed information in the Dell configuration tool, OSC. As TIC Data is using OSC to place the order towards Dell, the correct information will already be in the system when this has been included in OSC beforehand. In this case, once again, please make sure that you take into account what you learned during this presentation so that you include the correct information in the different fields. Otherwise, it can cause issues during the delivery or during the support in regards to the support during the life cycle of the system. Please feel free to send an email to dellemc@ticdata.be if you would like to have a copy of this template. That's it. Thank you very much for your attention.